Have you ever wondered why there are wounds that, although they are not visible, seem to weigh so much? There are wounds that cannot be seen, but their weight is so great that sometimes it feels like they are crushing you. They have no shape, color, or defined contours, but they pierce inside you, as if they were invisible roots growing within you. They are the scars left by those who have hurt you emotionally. That person may no longer be in your life, or they may never have been aware of the damage they caused. But what you do know is that you are still here, feeling, remembering, and struggling to understand. Why does it hurt so much? How do you move on when something so deep has broken inside you? It is in the midst of that pain, where a question arises that we have all asked ourselves at some point. How do you truly get over someone who has marked you so deeply? Today, I want to invite you to see that question from a completely new perspective. Let's delve into the teachings of Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist who revolutionized our understanding of the human mind, and see how his approach can help you transform that pain into an opportunity to grow, to know yourself better, and most importantly, to free yourself emotionally. This is not a video to quickly leave behind suffering or to turn the page without more. No, this is a space where you can understand, integrate, and heal deeply. Because sometimes, all we need is to give new meaning to what has marked us in order to transform it. The impact of emotional wound. Emotional wounds are not only caused by what happened, but by the meaning you gave it. And that is not weakness. It is human. It is inevitable. When someone hurts us, lies to us, abandons us, manipulates us, or simply disappoints us deeply, it is not just the present that hurts. It is the past that reopens, the expectations that crumble, and the identity that wavers. When someone emotionally hurts you, a betrayal, a humiliation, an abandonment, you are not only dealing with the immediate pain, you are facing the activation of old wounds, hidden memories that live in what Carl Jung called the shadow. Everything you do not want to see in yourself, but that continues to silently influence your life. According to Jung, much of the suffering does not come from the facts themselves, but from the resistance to look at what is within us. That is, when someone hurts us, what keeps us trapped is not just the other person, but the part of us that was left voiceless, the forgotten, rejected, or wounded part that now demands to be recognized. Your pain is not exaggerated. It is a message, a silent scream from those parts of you that have waited too long to be seen. Understanding it does not mean justifying what happened or minimizing your suffering. It means beginning to truly heal, because overcoming the one who hurt you is not just about forgetting or moving on. Jung would tell us that what is not made conscious manifests in your life as fate. That is to say, if you do not recognize what that person touched within you, if you do not allow yourself to see what wounds were already there before they appeared, you will repeat the pattern, with another face, in another relationship, with another ending, but the same wound. Healing is not an act of forgetting, it is an act of courage. The courage to see what hurt, to embrace it, and to decide that it will no longer define your path. Why did that person impact you so much? The archetypes and projection. Why did that person affect you so much? Why does it hurt more than others? Because without realizing it, you projected an archetype onto them. Jung described archetypes as universal forms that we all carry within. The lover, the protector, the savior, the traitor, the wise one. They are deep patterns that reside in the collective unconscious, and that, in certain people, we recognize immediately, even if we are not consciously aware of it. When you meet someone who activates a powerful archetype within you, you do not see the person as they truly are. You see the meaning that your soul has assigned to them. You see everything they represent for you, everything you hoped for, everything you feared. This can lead you to idealize, to cling intensely, to give away parts of yourself that you would normally protect, or to feel that you have lost something so unique that it seems irreplaceable. Even if, objectively, that person was not what you imagined, the emotional bond that was created was deeply real within you. Healing that wound involves withdrawing the projection, stopping seeing the other as a symbol and starting to see them as a human being, imperfect, limited, real. And even more importantly, starting to see what part of you continues to seek outside what only you can give yourself. Because as long as you keep waiting for someone else to fill your voids, those voids will continue to silently govern your life. Carl Jung wrote, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." And here we arrive at the core of this entire process. If that person hurt you, if you still feel trapped in pain, in the need for answers, or in resentment, it is because something inside you remains unseen. The key is not in the other person. The key is in how you integrate that experience within yourself, in how you make it part of your personal story, not as a scar that you define as an eternal wound, but as a mark of growth. And for that, it is necessary to dare to ask deep, uncomfortable but absolutely liberating questions. What part of me really broke? What need did I have that this person seemed to fill? What did I learn about myself that I find hard to accept? The shadow, the pain that you do not see, the reflection in the other. Here is where another of Jung's great concepts comes in, the shadow. Jung spoke of the shadow as all those aspects of ourselves that we reject, deny, or are unaware of. They are not just flaws or mistakes. They are also legitimate needs, repressed desires, fears that we could not integrate. They are essential parts of our being that, out of fear, shame, or pain, we have pushed away from our consciousness. And here lies one of the most powerful keys to truly healing. Many times, what hurts us most about someone is not the harm they caused us, but the reflection they activated in our own shadow. That person not only betrayed us, not only abandoned us, not only disappointed us. They touched a wound that was already open within us. Perhaps they activated that old feeling of not being enough, of not being seen or valued, of having to earn love at the cost of yourself, of enduring the intolerable just to avoid being abandoned. Jung would say that person became a mirror, and mirrors hurt. But they can also become tools for radical transformation. Because if you have the courage to face what part of you was activated in that relationship, you can begin to recognize yourself with compassion. You can see not only your pain but also your dignity, your worth, your capacity to love, even when it was in the wrong place. You might wonder, why doesn't it affect me the same way with other people? Why does this wound hurt in such an intense and unique way? And the answer lies in the heart of Jung's deep psychology. That person was not just a person in your life. They embodied an archetype within you. Perhaps they represented the lover who longed for fusion, the father who was supposed to protect you, the savior who would come to rescue you, or the traitor who embodied your deepest fear. Archetypes are universal patterns, but each of us experiences them in a unique and unrepeatable way. What that person represented for you was not just an external bond, it was the reactivation of an internal story. You placed expectations, longings, wounds, fantasies upon them. You projected onto them parts of yourself that sought to be healed. And although it hurts to acknowledge it, it was not a mistake. It was an opportunity to see yourself in your moments of total surrender, in your moments of silent waiting, in your moments of breaking and desolation. Because in that broken mirror, if you dare to look without judgment, if you dare to see your wound not as a failure but as part of your humanity, you can find the pieces that will help you rebuild yourself in a freer, more conscious, more authentic way. The shadow holds uncomfortable answers, but also the seed of your true liberation. And only when you integrate those denied parts of yourself can you stop repeating the same patterns, the same pains, with different faces. Because deep down, healing is not about forgetting what was done to you. Healing is about no longer needing the past to have a different ending. Healing is about embracing yourself wholly with each of your parts, even those you learn to hide. The dual, the void, and inner alchemy. Overcoming someone is not an act of strength. It is a deep, emotional process that goes far beyond simply letting that person go. The grief you go through is not just for the loss of that person, but for everything they represented in your life. It is the lament for what you believed you could have had, for what you felt you lost of yourself in that relationship. It is the weight of unfulfilled dreams, unmet expectations, and the parts of you that were given, compromised, or even lost along the way. And this is where Carl Jung introduces a powerful metaphor: inner alchemy. Just as ancient alchemists sought to transform lead into gold, we, in our emotional lives, can also transform suffering into wisdom. But this process is not achieved by fleeing from pain or denying it. Transformation occurs when you allow yourself to feel that pain, when you face it, and allow yourself to listen to what it has to say to you. Suffering becomes something much deeper if we are able to give space to those emotions without fleeing from them. Perhaps what the pain is telling you is that you need to set boundaries, that a part of you was hurt because you did not protect your emotional space. Or perhaps it is a childhood wound, one that has long been waiting to be embraced, understood, and healed. It may also be a deep desire to be loved just as you are, without having to hide, without having to earn that love at the cost of your well-being. When you grieve consciously, something in you changes. You no longer wait for the other to give you what you lack. You begin to offer yourself what you so long to receive from that person. Overcoming someone is, in essence, grieving, but not a linear or quick grief, nor a clean one by any means. Jung saw alchemy as the perfect metaphor for the process of personal transformation, in which what hurts, if worked through and integrated, becomes gold. This transformation is not about stopping feeling what you feel, nor about repressing the pain. It is not a matter of ignoring what is happening inside you. It is about rebuilding yourself from a more authentic, truer place, more connected to your essence. It is a process that requires you to go through all those emotions you tend to avoid: sadness, anger, guilt, and above all, the acceptance that you cannot flee. The only way out is to go through the pain. Instead of resisting, you invite yourself to dive into what is happening inside you, knowing that what you feel has a purpose. Sadness teaches you to embrace your vulnerability, anger shows you your limits and your strength, and guilt, though uncomfortable, invites you to look inward and take responsibility for your part in what happened. In the end, what seemed like a burden transforms into a source of wisdom. The healing process is not a simple path, but in the alchemy of life, what initially seemed like lead, over time becomes something much more valuable: your inner gold. The individuation, returning to you. Jung said that the ultimate goal of human beings is individuation, the process of becoming who you truly are, integrating all your parts, even those you have tried to hide or reject. It is a path of deep self-knowledge, where every aspect of yourself, even those you do not want to see, has a place. And it is in this process where every emotional crisis, especially those that arise from wounds of love or attachment, can become gateways to that transformation. Because when a relationship hurts you, when someone wounds you, you are not simply dealing with the loss of that person. What happens is that you are facing the most vulnerable part of your psyche. The pain not only reveals what you lack, but also what you lack to see in yourself. It confronts us with the parts of ourselves that we have locked away, those parts we do not want to see, because they scare us or shame us. Getting over someone, from this Jungian perspective, is not about forgetting what happened. Forgetting leads nowhere. Forgetting is denying the experience. It keeps the wound alive in the darkness without allowing it to transform. Instead, the true healing process is reintegration. That is to say, this happened, it hurt me, it changed me, but now, thanks to that experience, I am more myself. Not because that person played a role in my growth, but because I chose to go through the pain, look it in the eye, and learn from it. In doing so, I recognize myself more fully. This is the path of individuation, embracing every aspect of yourself, rejecting nothing, neither the wounds nor the lessons, because everything is part of your journey toward being more authentic, and that makes you freer. When you understand that what you lived through, however painful it was, makes sense within your personal path, you no longer carry the story. You transform it into wisdom. The wound, which at one point seemed like something that broke you, now becomes a fundamental piece of your growth. On the Jungian path, every wound is an opportunity for individuation. But what does this mean exactly? It means that by making conscious what that person represented for you, what you projected onto them, and the expectations you placed on their role, you can integrate those parts of yourself that got trapped in that story. It is like a dance between consciousness and shadow, whereby seeing clearly what happened, you can move forward without that wound controlling your decisions or your destiny. Getting over someone, then, is neither forgetting nor denying what happened, nor rejecting what was lived. Instead, it is about taking what occurred and making it part of your sacred story. It is recognizing that that person hurt you, transformed you, and that now, thanks to that transformation, you know yourself more deeply. You understand yourself better. You are no longer the same person who started the relationship, nor the same one who ended it. You have gone through the pain, processed it, and now you are more aware of what you are and what you can be, and that, at its core, makes you freer. And if you can't let go yet, and if it still hurts, you may not be able to let go yet. It may still hurt, and that is valid too. You are not failing. Sometimes the mind understands what is happening long before the heart does. But every time you choose to breathe, every time you choose yourself, every time you decide not to send that message, you are healing. Jung did not speak of quick fixes or immediate solutions. He spoke of processes. And you are in the midst of one of those processes. Overcoming someone who has emotionally hurt you does not mean stopping feeling. It is not about making the pain disappear, but about giving it a rightful place within your being. It is about looking at that pain with compassion, understanding it, and accepting it, without letting it occupy your entire inner world. It is understanding that within that wound lies an opportunity to heal, to integrate more fully with yourself, and you do not have to rush. You do not need to hurry. You just need to hold yourself with love, with patience. This process is not measured in speed, but in depth. It is okay for there to be bonds that need more time. Sometimes the soul takes the necessary time to process what it needs, and Jung understood this perfectly. He did not talk to us about shortcuts or easy solutions. He spoke to us about deep processes, about learnings that arise over time, through pain and the integration of that pain. So when you find yourself wondering why that person still occupies your mind, perhaps it is time to rephrase the question. What part of me is still expecting something from him or her? Give voice to that part of you that is still waiting. Listen to it. Love it yourself, because that part is one of the keys to your healing. It is one of the pieces that will help you recompose yourself and understand yourself better. Carl Jung taught us that the soul has mysterious ways to heal, that sometimes the wound is the portal that opens new doors for us, and that within pain lies a key that, although small, has the power to unlock a profound transformation. Today, that key is in your hands. You do not need to have all the answers or all the solutions. You just need to start walking towards yourself. There is not just one path, but there is a path that is yours. And have you already started that path? Thank you for being here at Jung and You Psychology for Change, for giving yourself this space, and for allowing yourself to understand, grow, and be. If this content has resonated with you, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, activate the notification bell, and share it if you think it can help someone in need, because here we continue to explore together what transforms us. See you in the next video. Until then, take care.